Hi everyone, this is Margaret Manning and welcome to a special edition of Mornings with 60 and Me. Today I would like to talk about 8 trends that show how boomers are reinventing retirement. This is a topic that we discuss quite a bit in 60 and Me, and I found a very interesting article on Kiplinger, which is a very reputable business magazine, and they talk about these 8 different ways that retirement is being redefined by boomers. I mean, we have been, shaking things up for decades, and we always try to look at new ways of doing things, and retirement is no exception. So it turns out that about 8,000 people every day are turning 65. So that's the traditional retirement age, but we are not retiring traditionally. There are some interesting trends that Kiplinger talks about, and the first one is that many people don't retire; they just change careers. They just start an encore, a second act career. And some of these are related to the skills that they've developed over a world in a corporate world. They become consultants or bloggers, writers. But others do things that are really following a passion, becoming a chef or opening a flower shop or a bookstore, just doing things that you've always wanted to do. So this redefinition is really pervasive. And the numbers here are that, it's about 70% of boomers over 65 say that they will continue working in one form or another after they are supposed to retire. And the reason for this is not always money. It's sometimes just stimulation and satisfaction and doing something that you've always wanted to do. And of course, now we are living longer, we're more educated and healthier, so we're getting this opportunity to do these things that we maybe put off when we were working full time. 40% say that they would like to have flexible working hours, and 24% want to work part time. These are numbers from Kiplinger, so it's kind of interesting to look at the statistics that go along with these trends. It's not just something we're making up. The second way that retirement's being redefined is because people are becoming entrepreneurs. It's kind of related to the encore second act career. But really what they're reporting here is that the largest group of entrepreneurs are people over I think it's over 55. So these are people who are starting brand new careers as entrepreneurs, and this is a report by the Kaufman Group, and it was in 2011, so it's probably even changed a lot more after that. But about 2/3 of the workers, however, who have retired, has said that they experienced discrimination or age discrimination, particularly in the workplace. So becoming your own boss is something that everyone really is looking forward to, being respected and being appreciated for the skills that you have. That rising entrepreneurship is definitely a trend that is challenging old views of retirement. The other is that, and this is actually also highlighting opportunities for businesses in this article. So the third way that people are challenging retirement is by getting back in the dating scene. And a lot of divorces are happening in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, silver divorces as they're called. And so people are finding themselves single. And this is actually becomes an activity in retirement, that you are looking for a partner, looking for someone to spend your time with. It's maybe more of a companion than the marriage that you might be used to. And in fact, I think the statistics, I'm just going to look at this here. I think it says that there's a large number, only 11% want to get married again, but yet 50%, half the retirement age boomers, would like to be dating. So it's quite a large number that haven't given up on love, but a very small number who will get married again. So that's an interesting statistic there. The older dating scene is, of course, the next way that retirement's being impacted. The next one they mention is the focus on fitness. I think that this is super interesting because, as I mentioned earlier, we're living longer and more educated about staying healthy, but we're taking action as well. So joining clubs, joining fitness clubs. There's one that I'm familiar with, which actually combines brain health with body health. So it's brain exercises as well as body exercises. Very interesting innovation. And I think that's one of the things that's very good to highlight about the boomer generation, is that we're always coming up with good ideas, creative ideas. Not that the younger generation isn't as well. I mean, for goodness sakes, that's not what I'm saying at all. But we, as older people, do like to problem solve. And I think that this focus on staying fit and healthy is really impacting retirement. We can just live and work longer, and that's really important. There's some other issues that are impacting retirement in terms of money, and I think this is a really interesting angle to mention. There's some, Kiplinger talks about the statistics around helping families financially. I'm just going to put my glasses on so I can read this number because it's really important. Yeah, about 52% of individuals who are over 55 are who have children are supporting them financially. 52%. And 33% are supporting grandchildren. So what this is really saying is that a lot of retirement age boomers want to stop working full time, part time, but they do feel this obligation to help their families, and this helping families financially is having a huge impact on retirement because boomers are not retiring from work, or they're continuing second act careers, entrepreneur opportunities. They're doing stuff that keeps them working and earning. Partly, it sounds like, because they want to help families financially. And of course, this is going to impact long-term care and and retiring when you're in your 80s, for example. There's going to be an impact there. So no judgment, but helping families financially is an important impact on retirement. Another trend or way that retirement's being impacted is with people getting into volunteering. And some of the volunteering is paid, but most of it is not paid. And it's something that people are doing in retirement to give back to their community, to society. And I was reading an article recently about a woman who is in her 80s still serving in the Peace Corps. So there are a lot of local groups, Big Brother and community organizations, Big Brother and Sister organizations. And so the trend, the rise in volunteering is definitely keeping people active in retirement and redefining what it means to age, really. It's a new way of looking at aging. The next one, and it's second to last here, is that people are tending to stay in their homes for retiring. They don't want to move into the retirement homes of their parents. This is a whole other topic that I want to talk about in another special edition, and it's so fascinating to me that a lot of conversation on 60andMe is around where we live as we get older. Older women tend to want to live alone or live in a community where they have their own space, and this is really impacting retirement, because women are having to work in order to support their lifestyle in either their present home or in the home that they want to move into. One solution that is coming up a lot in conversation and reality now is co-housing. And this is co-housing arrangements, either roommate situations, and there's a couple that we've written about in 60andMe that are very good to know about. There's Golden Girls Network, and then Boomers Roommates, and there's one called, it's Open Nest. I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name, but I'll put all this in the article, where basically there's ways to match make for a roommate. The other is the communities that are forming, formal communities. And in this article, there's a link to a place where they say there are 150 co-housing communities in the United States, just in the States. And I know that there are eco-villages and co-housing places in Europe, Asia, all around the world. It's definitely a big trend women and men in retirement are taking advantage of. The final thing that impacts retirement, according to Kiplinger, and I certainly agree with this, we've had lots of dialogue on this topic, is going back to school. This is where women want to return to school to get a degree sometimes, or really just to learn, to expand their knowledge about life. There's a lot of online courses now, Coursera and Udemy and a few others, but there are also about 100 US colleges and universities that are offering non-credit classes, so you can go back to school. I think in most cases you do have to pay, but I do know there are some that are offering free programs where you can go attend a class, sit in, but not get the credit, which is fine. If you're over 65, you maybe don't want a degree, you just want the stimulation and the learning. And as I mentioned earlier, Coursera and Udemy are very good sites where you can actually tune in to some of the classes that are being offered at the universities. So like Yale, all the Ivy League schools seem to have representation on Coursera particularly. So that's another really strong way that retirement is being redefined. So I think that that covers it. I mean, that's eight really interesting options that are shaping the retirement of the future, and there's a lot of work, obviously, that needs to be done in making the transition from corporate business to the entrepreneur, self-employed world. And a lot of companies are doing good work in that area. We'll do another story about that in the future. But for now, I just would like to ask you, of those eight ways that retirement is being redefined, what way is applying in your life? If you haven't retired and are thinking about it, what are you going to prioritize in your retirement? If you have retired, what are you doing in those retirement age? Just leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a conversation. Fascinating talk. Okay, everyone. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this special edition, and we'll look forward to talking with you again. Bye-bye for now.